Teysa Karlov versus Elesh Norn, Grand Cenobite. Yeah, hoping our opponent doesn't ramp into that too quickly, because that is one card that'll hurt us. And, yep, a no-land hand to start off with. But we get into a pretty decent hand. I'd like another black land so we can get into Phyrexian Arena. Wasteland... might regret getting rid of if our opponent gets an Ancient Tomb, but we'll throw that on the bottom because we want to get into black mana as soon as possible. If I can hit a Phyrexian Arena on turn 3, then yeah, I'd be happy with that. And there we go, there's the swamp. So we'll just get down the Isolated Chapel, down tapped, and throw it over to our opponent, see if they've got anything for us. Elesh Norn, Grand Cenobite is a 7 mana 4/7 with Vigilance. Other creatures you control get +2/+2, and creatures your opponents control get -2/-2. Teysa Karlov is a 4 mana Necromonicon commander, Orzhov, 2/4. Creature tokens you control have Vigilance and Lifelink. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, then it triggers an additional time. Definitely go for Bitter Blossom. Not sure how good it's going to be this game if our opponent's going to get into Elesh Norn, but might be that they're not looking to ramp into Elesh Norn. It just looks like this might be Anthem Tribal. Okay, that is a permanent, isn't it? Exile a permanent. Right, I'm going to, in that case, go for the Zulaport Cutthroat here, because I don't want them to get rid of our Phyrexian Arena. I might be able to encourage them away from Phyrexian Arena or the Bitter Blossom even. With a... oh, did they go for... yeah, they did go for Bitter Blossom there, so that was actually going to go really well with Anointed Procession. But it is not to be this game. Our opponent's down to 4 cards. I'm not doing anything on turn 4. Yeah, we don't have any death triggers or anything yet. I think I just want to draw more cards with Phyrexian Arena. And we'll just hope our opponent doesn't have a flash creature here. Nope, apparently not. Definitely getting the land drops down. Another couple of lands, and they're on Elesh Norn mana. Dawn Elemental. Prevent all damage that would be dealt to it. It's a flying 4/4. Or actually, it's a flying 3/3 that gets +1/+1 from Honor of the Pure. And it's 4 pips to get that out. Okay, Tithe Taker and Monastery Mentor. I think I'm just going to get down the Monastery Mentor and the Tithe Taker here. I don't think the Tithe Taker's really going to do much for us. Might replace this with... this is really just in here for the Afterlife. It does help against control players sometimes, but I might just switch this out for a Thalia. I don't think we've got Thalia in the deck. I think that will be better. Just 1 land away from Elesh Norn, and I'm not sure how we're going to deal with an Elesh Norn. Okay, and Day of Judgment destroys all creatures, so they might not have been confident about getting down another land, because I think Elesh Norn would have actually killed all our creatures. And the Phyrexian Arena comes down. We can just go for Teysa, which will not die to Elesh Norn. And then we'll grab the Nether Traitor. And then the Spirit has Lifelink, Vigilance and Flying. It has the Lifelink and Vigilance thanks to Teysa. And Nether Traitor has Haste and Shadow. And every time a creature dies, we can pay black and get this out of the graveyard and onto the battlefield. Okay, and another Anthem effect. Non-white creatures get -1/-1, and white creatures get +1/+1. You can pay 2 life to bounce it back to your hand. Yeah, it would be nice to have the Zulaport Cutthroat in play, because then we could get multiple snake tokens, multiple death triggers, but with that Krovax in play, yeah, we're not going to be able to get that going. And they're in Elesh Norn mana now as well, so I think I'll just get down the Anointed Procession. And I'm not going to bother with the Ophiomancer. And noteworthy that Teysa Karlov gets the +1/+1 buff because it is a white creature. And this is a world ability. As does the Spirit, because that's white as well. The Orpheomancer and the Snake it throws out are black, so I'm not going to bother with those. The Snake will just die as soon as it comes into play. Might as well swing for 2 in the air with the Spirit, recoup a little bit of life. We've taken some damage from the Bitter Blossom and the Phyrexian Arena this game. But we're recouping that with that Spirit, thankfully. They can go for Elesh Norn here and kill off our Spirit. And they'll give the Krovax a big buff as well. Yep, 2 cards in hand. And out comes Elesh Norn. And because the Spirit died, we can pay black for Nether Traitor, which we'll do just for the fun of it. It'll die as soon as it comes out, thanks to Elesh Norn. And thanks to the Krovax as well. So yeah, that came out and we didn't even... yeah, it did come out and we didn't even see it enter the field. Technically, it did come out of the graveyard and enter there, but it dies instantly thanks to these 2 creatures. It would have died to either one of them. And definitely not going to block here. Pretty bad matchup for us. We need some removal for both of these creatures. I'm not above using a board wipe in this instance. We'll just get down the Shockland tap so we don't have to shock that in. 2 cards left in our opponent's hand. And we've only got a couple of turns to do something really, because there's a couple of big creatures across the way there. Okay, Grave Titan is a Death Toucher at least. But that will be a 3/3 Death Toucher, thanks to our opponent's creatures. Well, we're not doing anything else, so we might as well get it down. And then it will throw out 2 zombies, which will die immediately, thanks to Elesh Norn. And then that triggers the Nether Traitor a bunch of times because it sees things are dying. And then Teysa Karlov doubles those up. Oh, and we would have gotten 4 tokens from that, thanks to Anointed Procession, but Elesh Norn is really giving us a hard time here. All we can do here really is hope that we get into the Darksteel Mutation or a tutor to grab Darksteel Mutation. Okay, Grand Abolisher, yeah, I'd rather not see, but it's not the worst thing our opponent could do. And then Weathered Wayfarer, I think we're up on lands compared to our opponent. 5, 6, 7, 8. And they only have 7 lands. Burnished Heart, they'll have to make sure to activate Weathered Wayfarer before they go for Burnished Heart. Yeah, we're not looking very good here. At least they're not swinging into the Grave Titan. It does have Death Touch. That doesn't come up very often, but it's coming up now. Some kind of tutor or board wipe here would be good. Intangible Virtue makes our creature tokens get +1/+1. That still doesn't get around the -3/-3 that our black tokens will get. Patron of the Vein gets rid of Krovax at least. So we can get some 1/1 zombies into play. Yeah, I think we have to go for that. I'm going to blow up the Krovax here because our opponent can easily get Elesh Norn out again. We need a more permanent solution to Elesh Norn in Darksteel Mutation. And then Intangible Virtue comes down. Oh, and our opponent can bounce that creature back to their hand for 2 life. I completely forgot about that. So, yeah, we didn't manage to get rid of that thing, unfortunately. I don't really like going for Elesh Norn with Patron of the Vein because they can just recast Elesh Norn again. And as soon as they get it down, they'll kill all our tokens, so it's not like we're building up an army for any real reason. Okay, Preeminent Captain coming down. A 5/5 first strike. Whenever it attacks, you can put a soldier from your hand into play. Don't think we've seen any soldiers thus far. I can't remember what... Krovash is its name? I can't remember if that's a soldier or not. Massacre Wurm does nothing for us. I'm just hoping we can get rid of... Well, yeah, we'd have to get rid of the Honour of the Pure and Elesh Norn and the Lord that's in our opponent's hand to make Massacre Wurm relevant. If we have Massacre Wurm in play and we wipe the board, then maybe that'll deal a little bit of damage that might be relevant to our opponent. I don't know. I don't think the -2/-2 from Massacre Wurm is going to be relevant this game. So I'm just going to go for the Massacre Wurm now, just to have a body in play. Okay, they've let it enter. Burnished Heart, they should have sacked it in response if they're going to sack it at all. They might be looking to block Grave Titan with it. But I don't see... Well, we're not going to swing in with Grave Titan. We'll just go for the Patron of the Vein, and we definitely don't want to swing in with Grave Titan, do we? That has first strike. They might block with Grand Abolisher and Preeminent Captain, throw one of those away to kill Grave Titan. Yeah, we'll just swing in with the Patron here. And then sacking the Burnished Heart, and Massacre Wurm will trigger a couple of times here. Our opponent will lose 2 life twice, thanks to Teysa Karlov. And the Patron of the Vein will also get bigger twice. Again, thanks to Teysa Karlov. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, you exile it instead, and you put a plus counter on each vampire you control. We don't have... I think this is the only vampire we've got in the deck, and this might be a means of us actually doing something to our opponent this game. They might have to get more aggressive with us, because if they get down their Lord again, then this will go down to a 3/3, and then we'll be 4 turns away, swinging in with this. 4 turns away from killing our opponent, and this Massacre Wurm kind of makes it difficult for our opponent to wipe the board as well. So we might be able to squeak out something here. We're in a difficult position. Okay, there's Arish in the Foremost. Can give another warrior double strike. We have this in our Najila deck, whatever you call her. And whenever she attacks or enters the battlefield, another warrior you control gains double strike until the end of the turn. And she herself is a 6/6 with double strike, so we need to watch out for her. Don't think our opponent has any other warriors. That's just a human soldier. Curious why they've got Preeminent Captain in here. They don't seem to have many soldiers in the deck. Okay, and just tapping out. They might be trying to go wide on us here. Well, we can't kill it with Grave Titan. We want to keep Massacre Wurm in play. I'm just going to take this. I think our opponent's looking to go wide on us next turn. We need a board wipe from the top 2 cards of our library here. Okay, let's see what we get. Stoneforge Mystic, I don't think does anything for us. We have Skull Clamp. We could go for a Skull Clamp. Unfortunately, we don't have a sack outlet because we can't use Viscera Seer. But Stoneforge will enter. She'll die immediately, but she'll enter. So we can still get the Skull Clamp if we want to. Why isn't she... she won't die because Krovax gives her gives her 3 toughness, and then Elesh Norn gives her -2, so she won't die. So we'll definitely use that. That's actually a good clamp target for us. So let's go Skull Clamp. Let's have a look, see if we can get anything here. It's got to be in the top 2 cards because I don't think there's any other means of us getting anything going here. No cards in our opponent's hand, so I'm not sure what they're thinking about. Okay. Oh, and I forgot Skull Clamp triggers a few times, doesn't it? Thanks to Teysa, so that will actually get us 4 cards, not 2. So our opponent needs to keep his fingers crossed here. Nope, that won't do it. Bloodghast is usually very good with Skull Clamp, but that won't do it either. We could try, and we're going to have to block next turn, so we're just going to have to clamp something. Let's get down some more mana with the Signet, and then we will clamp the Grave Titan. That might be able to block better if it has more power. Actually, I don't think it makes any difference, does it? So we have to block the double striker. Probably block the first striker. Yeah, our opponent might have us either way here. Yeah, I think our opponent's got us, but we'll see. They might play around a potential trick. They might not want to commit. If they're worried about a combat trick from us, they might not commit everything into the swing. So we'll just see what they go for here. I've just thought of something actually. What we could do is block a first striker or the double striker with Grave Titan. And that will kill Grave Titan before the rest of the damage is dealt. And that might save us if we get into spot removal. Yeah, we're really trying hard with the top decks, but... Okay, doesn't look like... Nope, they are committing with everything. And let's see if the preeminent captain sees a soldier. Nope, doesn't look like it, so we don't know what's in our opponent's hand. Chances are that they can cast whatever they've got, because they've got 10 mana. Now then, we'll block the double striker, because like I say, it'll kill the Grave Titan before other damage is dealt, and we might be able to save some of our other creatures. We'll block there. There. And our opponent has lethal on us here. Yeah, they've got lethal no matter how we block. We have to block there and there. We could block Elesh Norn there, but then they deal 11 damage to us anyway. So we'll just see if we draw into anything here. First strike damage first, so we'll get 6 damage dealt to us there. And Grave Titan will be taken down. And that's Skull Clamp twice again. Let's see if we get into any removal here. No. Just not our day. Actually, Elesh Norn would have... not Elesh Norn. Elspeth actually would have been quite good there because... Yeah, if we could have made it an extra turn, we could have killed our opponent's entire board. But didn't get enough going, so that is a good game to our opponent. And an interesting matchup there. Don't think I've... Yeah, I think I have come across Elesh Norn as a commander before, but never had an interesting game against her like that. This is a pretty bad matchup for us because we're token-based. So giving everything -2, -2, and -1, -1. Krovax was very good in this game. I don't think I've ever seen anyone run Krovax before, so good to see that as well. Hope you all enjoyed it. That was Elesh Norn versus Teysa Karlov. I'm tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.